Welcome to a Prepify review. I'm Clint Lobb. As we all know, in today's world, we are surrounded almost completely by electronic devices. Most of us don't realize how dependent we are on them until, for example, we forget to plug in our phone. So as we trek on our outdoor adventures this year, and as we continue to build upon our preparedness gear, it's really important to remember all of the devices that we are packing. But more importantly, how are we going to keep them charged? Many of us use the important principle of 2 is 1 and 1 is none. This means that for any important items that you have in your gear, have another item that has an overlapping function, just in case it breaks, runs out of fuel, or you lose it. So a good example is in one of my preparedness lists, what we at Prepify call prep lists, I carry a flashlight, a headlamp, extra AA batteries, and a solar panel to charge those batteries. But I've always thought, what would happen if I need to charge those items, let's say, at night? So that's why I'm really excited to test drive the K-Tor Pocket Socket hand crank generator. So go ahead and come with me and let's test it out. So K-Tor was kind enough to send us this pocket socket for review. The first thing that I noticed on the box is it states right here that it can power any devices around 10 watts. And then I noticed that on the other side, it shows all of the different devices that it showcases it can power. For example, lights like a flashlight, spare batteries, cameras, smartphones, tablets, radios, things like that. So I've assembled a bunch of devices to try out, but first let's go ahead and unbox it. So there's 3 things that I noticed in the instructions. First, it says here, turn 2 cranks per second to charge your device, rest after 3 to 5 minutes, and as you're cranking, make sure that you don't smash your fingers. So kind of obvious. So now if you've used other crank items like a radio or a flashlight, you've maybe noticed how flimsy these are. This is one that I bought at a local emergency preparedness place. I just wanted a crank light just in case I really needed it. But I've taken this out of my preparedness gear because it's really flimsy, it doesn't hold a charge, and it's just not very good quality. But what I like with the K-Tor Pocket Socket is it feels really rugged. It feels like I can put it in my preparedness gear and I can rely on this if I need to charge my AA batteries or if I need to plug any 2-prong devices in and actually charge them. So without anything plugged in, it's very easy to crank. But as you can see in some of the tests that we'll do, it gets a little bit more difficult to crank as you try to charge or power more power-hungry devices. So now the fun part. Here's all of the items that I've scoured around my home, and let's see what things can it power, and let's see what things it can't. So you saw in the introduction, we were actually able to power this 14-watt LED bulb off of the K-Tor Pocket Socket. But I thought that I would do it again so you can see me power it from start to finish. So I plugged it in and let's crank it and see how bright we can get this. What's interesting is it's actually not that difficult to crank this and output some decent light. So using an adapter here, I plugged in my wireless headphones. Let's see if we can get them charged. So in this test, we're going to see if we can bring my Samsung S3 back to life. I haven't tried to turn this on in, I'd probably say 3 to 6 months. So this will be a pretty good test to see what it's going to do. So I'll go ahead and plug this into an adapter, plug this into the K-Tor, and we'll crank away. So as you can see, after about I'd say 15 minutes or so of cranking away, I was able to get my Samsung S3 booted. Hope you like my background. It wasn't the easiest thing to crank it for 15 minutes. I actually stopped about 5 times or so and then cranked away for 3 minutes a piece. In this test, we will see how long it'll take the K-Tor to charge some depleted AA batteries. So before we plug in a charger to the K-Tor, we need to make sure that these are completely depleted. We're going to use my handy headlamp. We're going to deplete these, and then we will take the K-Tor and plug it in to a charger. We will crank the charger for about 1 to, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll see how long these AA batteries can charge my headlamp. Now that the batteries are depleted, I'm going to take them out of the headlamp, put them in my K-Tor battery charger, plug it into the K-Tor, and let's go ahead and charge it for 2.5 minutes. We're gonna rest just for a second, start it back up. Okay, so we've charged them for a little bit. Let's go ahead and put them back into the headlamp and see how long this thing goes. So on 4 AA batteries, we were able to get 6 minutes of battery life on a black diamond headlamp. So this is a premium headlamp, and it was on high. If we decided to put it on low luminosity, you could probably see double or maybe triple the life. So 12 minutes to 20 minutes, something like that. For the next test, I thought we'd go ahead and try a little pump here. I think this is 100 watts, so this is 10 times what the K-Tor is rated for, but I thought I'd plug it in and see if it'll work. So I'll go ahead and plug it in. Make sure it's turned on. And let's crank it. I'm actually able to get this thing running, which is pretty cool. Now it's really hard to crank this, but I can see the motor inside is actually running. Let me see if I can change the angle a little bit and crank hard and see if this actually works. Now I can hear it going, and of course it's not going full power, but it's interesting that we're actually able to get this to work. Now that we've tried a bunch of devices, let's talk about benefits and considerations. So first, the benefits. What's great with this crank generator is that you have automatic power when you need it. Unlike a solar panel, you don't have to worry about if the sun is shining or if there are clouds in the sky. Likewise, you don't need to worry about your batteries if your batteries are lost or if they're not charged. You already have the crank generator there. Another benefit is that it does have a common 2-prong outlet. Most other generators, crank or solar, have a micro USB connector like this or some other connector to charge or power your devices. So with the K-Tor, you're actually able to charge and power a wider range of devices. Now, a couple things to consider. the first main consideration is that the hand crank generator is an active charging device. So what this means is you have to actively crank it to charge or power a device. So this means that you're expelling calories and you're increasing fatigue, which may be an issue in an emergency or disaster scenario. So in comparison, a solar panel is a passive charging device. So this means you just take the solar panel, you put it out in the sun, and just as long as you have sunlight, it's in the day, you're able to just leave it alone and go about anything else that you're doing and have your devices charge. So another consideration is your thought around what you're plugging in. It is a two-prong outlet and can only charge devices adequately up to 10 watts. But I think all in all, I really do like the Pocket Socket generator because I know in time of a disaster or an emergency, I can charge a lot of devices on the fly. So would I recommend the K-Tor Pocket Socket generator? I would say absolutely, with a couple considerations. I would make sure that the devices that I'm looking at charging can actually be charged by this. And then secondly, make sure that any devices you're charging, build it around the K-Tor. Tell us in the comments below what you think. Is this something that you can use in your preparedness gear? And if so, how would it work for you? Don't forget to subscribe to Prepify to stay up to date on how to become and stay prepared, reviews on new products, current events, and development on our new mobile preparedness app. I am Clint, and this is Prepify.